Rich Tehrani here in the TMC newsroom. Thanks for watching. We're at Interop 2012 in Las Vegas, Nevada. On our program is Nan Boden, Dr. Nan Boden. She's the CEO at high-performance networking company Myricom, and I'd like to welcome you to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So, first question is, what's new at Interop? What are you showing? What are you talking about?
Interop this year for us is very exciting. We've announced our strategic partnership with Emulex. We've both been in the networking business for a long time, but Myricom from the high performance segment of networking, and Emulex has been a leader in fiber channel and Ethernet. And so us bringing our talents and companies together in this partnership is very exciting, and certainly the highlight of it for us at Interop.
So what do you see happening in the data center that is changing the needs of the HPC market as well?
Well, Myricom's been in the high-performance networking business for a long time, since 1994, mostly in more of the academic and government labs use of high-performance networking. But over the last few years, we've been seeing just a huge explosion in the interest for things like low-latency networking and high-bandwidth performance in the data center. And so we actually see that the data center is changing to make it look more like high-performance computing. And this is really a market opener for us and something we're really excited about.
Now, in some of the HPC vertical markets, it sounds like you're advocating Ethernet instead of InfiniBand, and I'm curious as to why, and if you could explain that.
Right. Well, I mean, InfiniBand is a specialty network that had its origins in high-performance computing, but as Ethernet is matured and as it's become more and more capable of delivering the high bandwidth and low latency performance, there's just less and less need for specialty networks. And with the huge global ecosystem of Ethernet, you really are much better off as a customer and as a set of innovators to be able to work in the Ethernet ecosystem.
It's interesting that Ethernet has been around for so many years, and it's been something that they've tried to kill off. I think the most recent one I remember, it's probably even more recent, but was maybe in 1990 when DEC had a 100 VG. I can't remember the name, and now it's gone back 22 years. But I remember they came up with a standard that everyone said we were going to go to. Other standards like ATM, frame relay, I mean, anything that's gone up against Ethernet has died a miserable death.
Eventually.
And you can make that argument about potentially Wi-Fi doing the same to other wireless standards in the future. But it's just interesting to point out that Ethernet now is going to potentially be a solution, especially when you look at the cost performance over other more specialized networks, like you said.
Absolutely. I mean, the way Ethernet has continued to evolve and bring in these higher performance characteristics and more of what the markets demand, the better a converged network it's becoming. And that's really where Myricom's innovations and what we've been able to do in high performance networking for a long time, in an Ethernet footprint, we're able to bring that to much more of the commercial marketplace.
So what's next for the company? And actually, before you answer that one, I'm just curious, I'm going to put these two together. What's the most interesting thing of the show, and what's next?
Well, I mean, what's interesting of the show for us is just to see how much Ethernet is on the move. I mean, Interop, Best of Interop Awards for Nodal this year as a 40 gig Ethernet switch. I mean, you're really seeing that Ethernet is moving very, very rapidly to become that high performance network of choice. And our ability to do our innovations on top of that and that framework is really, really something we think we're going to have even more applicability over these broad applications that are represented here. So what's next for Myricom? Working through this partnership with Emulex, try to take over the world, and certainly from a high-performance networking perspective, leverage what we're good at, but do it in a way that makes a difference for commercial applications in the enterprise.
Excellent. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Great.
Enjoyed it.